COVID thing got out of control quicker than I thought. But, looks like we're gonna need to shelter in place for a bit. School says we're just gonna need to take 2 weeks off. Just gonna chillax in my dorm and, play this new Kaiserreich thing I've heard so much about. This game where Germany wins World War I and there's a second American Civil War. Sounds like fun. Just gonna spend some quality time in my room with my fish, playing some video games, and everything should be back to normal in about 2 weeks. Just gonna need to think of this as an extended tornado warning. Everything's gonna be just fine. Took City. Cindy's go boom. Funny. Chris. Huh? Chris! Snap out of it! Ah! Who the hell are you? Come on. You really don't recognize me? I'm you. Well, a part of you anyway. Part of me? What's that supposed to mean? Oh. Oh man, it's worse than I thought. Well, I'll try and keep this short. You've been in lockdown for so long that you've gone a little insane. You've created multiple personalities in your head to talk to in order to cope with the crippling loneliness. For example, I'm a version of you based off your childhood obsession with the Civil War, hence the hat. I've gone a little insane? Huh. Oh, that explains why my beta fish has started talking to me.
Feed me, father, for I am hungry.
Damn it, Woo. I fed you 20 minutes ago. Wait, how long has this pandemic been going on? It's been 11 months, kid. 11 months? No way. It's been like a week tops. You really don't remember what's been going on? Obviously not, because there's nothing to remember. Please tell me there's nothing to remember. You really don't remember that 435,000 Americans at least are dead from COVID? You don't remember the massive civil rights protest that happened this summer? Okay, come on. Greatest loss of American life since World War II and a massive civil rights movement. I think I'd remember something like that. For fuck's sake, you were literally at one of the protests.
Line's been broken. Give milk, comrade.
6 seconds.
Wait. I actually got off my ass and did something? Huh. Hold on. That doesn't sound like me at all. Nice try, buddy. You didn't let me finish. You went to one protest, then didn't attend another because you were worried about getting COVID and infecting your family. Doing the bare minimum before chickening out. Yep, that sounds like me. Well, I may be a coward, but at least I didn't get COVID. Actually, you did. But you caught it in November, months after you attended the protest. So, your cowardice was completely unnecessary and counterproductive. But karma's a bitch, so you ended up developing symptoms on your birthday. On my birthday? Damn it. Well, I guess I get what I deserve for not doing my part. It was just me that got it, right? Actually, everybody in your household got it because you pulled a Typhoid Mary and brought it home with you. Oh God. Is everyone in my family okay? They didn't develop a serious case, did they? Hey, don't worry. Nobody in your family developed a severe case. Oh God, what a relief. You really had me going there for a second, other me. Oh, that's, Except for you. You developed a serious case. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, it was crazy. You couldn't breathe properly. You had to go to the hospital. Spent 5 days breathing through an oxygen tube. You got a shot in your stomach every 12 hours. They had to give you plasma and all sorts of stuff. You couldn't get up to go to the bathroom without coughing a lung out. Oh, and there was that one crazy part where you had a coughing fit so bad that you got really oxygen deprived and saw all sorts of crazy stuff. Like that former friend of yours from high school was strangling you. Death herself showed up and told you it wasn't your time. And, oh, right, your great-grandpa showed up, too, and told you that, that you could beat this thing and that you just needed to relax. It was, pretty intense, man. Wow. You know, it's really, starting to come back to me. What a year. I've been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. You better believe it's been one hell of a year. Don't even get me started on the Capitol getting stormed. Hold the phone. Protesters stormed the Capitol? Well, that sounds like a stupid idea. Moronic tankies thinking that it's 1917 Russia. Well, how many of them got killed? I assume it was a lot. Bit of a cold-hearted question, but alright. 4 of them got killed. Only 4? They overran the Capitol and only 4 of them died? What, were they all wearing Kevlar or something? Did they replace the guards' bullets with paintball pellets? Oh! I see the misunderstanding. No, you're confused. These weren't far-left Bolsheviks, or whatever you want to call them. No, these were right-wingers. Most of them were white. Most of them were, you know, flying Confederate flags. And, yeah, the president told them to storm the Capitol. He's getting impeached for it right now. Here, I'll send you a link with all the details. Oh. So they were right-wingers. I see. They stormed the Capitol because they wanted to stop the election from being certified. And they killed a cop by bashing his head in with a fire extinguisher. Blue Lives Matter, my star-spangled ass. Well, I don't know why you brought this up to me, because it's just making me feel even more depressed. Obviously, America is still a very divided country, and we got half the country that wants to disenfranchise the other half by forcefully stopping Congress from certifying their votes, and we got the other half of the country who still thinks that the first half can be reasoned with. So why did you bring this up to me, union guy? There's nothing really I can do about it. Just making me feel sad, man. Very sad. Chris, listen to me. I know this isn't news to you, but America has been a divided country since day one. I mean, the southern states, aside from Virginia, didn't even join the Revolution until the British threatened to take their slaves away. Their priorities have never been the same as the northern states, and look, man, I know that it's very unlikely that you are going to have much of an impact, but I think that you have some ideas that you should share with people. You know? You're always venting to your friends and family, and frankly, the reason why not many friends or family choose to hang out with you is because you choose to vent to them all the time. But you have a theory about why America is so divided, and that is our absolute inability to confront and debunk lies about our past, namely the Civil War. And I don't have to tell you this, but one of the main purveyors of the lost cause narrative is the Sons of Confederate Veterans. They're out there right now, their site is online, and I think that they are partially to blame for some of this division for spreading all these lies. I mean, their flags were literally being flown at the attack. So that's why I'm bringing this up to you. You're right. A lot of the division does have to do with that. And one of the reasons they've been able to force themselves on us for so long is because we're not nearly as aggressive as they are. I guess I could make a video about that. Talk about how groups like that are spreading lies and undermining the very foundation of our union, erasing our history, denying us the knowledge of who we really are as a people. There we go. See, I think you should do a video about this. I think that you should, you know, get out of your shell, return to your roots. You got famous for debunking Confederate myths before, so why not take a trip down memory lane, huh? But, just so you know, because you've gone insane from being in quarantine for so long, and because you spent so much of that time playing Kaiserreich, I'm afraid that you have two other personalities in your head, Syndicalist Chris and Populist Chris. Don't be surprised if they show up at points in the video to help you out. And also, you don't look like you've shaved since March. I mean, you look like one of Che's cubs. You should probably get that cleaned up, alright? Alright. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I am gonna do a video on this. And, it's good to know that those other guys, I guess, will be helping. Oh. Have I had this the whole time? I think I better, shave this off and get it cleaned up before I make the video. Be right back, everybody. Excellent. My work here is done. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go and help produce a heavy metal cover of Marching Through Georgia. Ta-ta! Whew. Well, I don't want to sound too self-congratulatory, since he is part of me, but Union Chris was absolutely right. I did need to shave. I found like an entire lunch in my beard. That thing was nuts. Alright, well, let's get into this. Let's take down some common myths presented by the Sons of Confederate Veterans about the American Civil War, while I provide footage of the Second American Civil War in Kaiserreich. I don't really have a budget to film outside my room, and I think it would be boring if I just sat here and looked at a camera the entire time. Regardless, let's get into this, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, let's start with one simple question. Who are the Sons of Confederate Veterans? The Sons of Confederate Veterans are a non-profit organization of male descendants of Confederate Army veterans. The organization was founded in 1896. Their name is somewhat misleading, as none of them are actually literal Sons of Confederate Veterans, which is fortunate because I can't imagine the agony of living that long. The initial objective of the Sons of Confederate Veterans was... Now you hold your horses there, you freshly shaved Junebug. Wait, who are you? I'm Populist Chris. That personality in your noggin that's based off of Huey Long's faction and that there war game you've been playing too much of. Oh, right. Union Chris was telling me about you. So, what's up, man? What do you want? Well, I reckon I should be reading the official statements from the group. I know I got my own segment later on, but I think it'd add more realism if you follow me. Well, you certainly have the voice for it, so sure, what the hell. Ah, thank you kindly. So as I was saying, before Populist Chris hopped on the call, the Sons of Confederate Veterans laid out their purpose in the minutes of their 1926 convention. The statement is as follows. To encourage the preservation of history, perpetuate the hallowed memories of brave men, to assist in the observance of Confederate Memorial Day, to aid and support all members, and to perpetuate the record of the services of every Southern soldier. So if you visit the site for the Sons of Confederate Veterans, you'll know that it's not that badly designed, you know, Oh. That's a little cringe. Whatever. We'll get into that whole can of worms later about whether or not Dixie has been great. But right now, Georgia is turning blue, so they have that going for them. Although, I doubt that a group like this would be in favor of that. Which brings up a funny thing about the Lost Cause revisionist community. They love to point out, oh, you claim to be so high and mighty, but the Democrats were the racists. They supported the South and founded the KKK. To which my response would be, yeah, the parties flipped. To which they would just respond, no, they didn't. To which I would respond, if the parties didn't flip, then why are the Republicans constantly flying rebel flags? It's not the party of Lincoln anymore, I'll tell you that. On their website's front page, you'll find a more updated statement on what the group stands for. A statement that, as per our agreement, I'm going to have Populist Chris read out to you guys. Oh, bless your heart, you socially awkward carpetbagger, you. I should warn you, though, this statement contains a certain word that, if I say it, it will summon someone. Who the heck? Wait, what? What are you talking about? Summon who? Remember how Union Chris told you that you had two other personalities in your head? The other being Syndicalist Chris? One of these words will summon him, and once he's summoned, he'll never shut the fuck up. Well, come on, Populist Chris. I'm sure it won't be that bad. And besides, I've made several promises to my subscribers that we were going to make this video, and frankly, we're far enough behind, so let's just bite the bullet and get through this. I mean, again, how hard can it be? Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you. The citizen soldiers who fought for the Confederacy personified the best qualities of America. The preservation of liberty and freedom was the motivating factor in the South's decision to fight the Second American Revolution. Did someone say Second American Revolution? Oh, Lord have mercy, I simply can't deal with this right now. Syndicalist Chris, I presume? Oh, you betcha! Syndicalist Chris is the name. Mobilizing the working class is my game. Ever since I was a young worker up in the great city of St. Paul, Minnesota. Say, do any of you fellas have a moment to hear about our Lord and Savior Karl Marx? Cindy, do you remember what happened the last time you tried reading theory to me? Why, yes I do, Pop. I remember that you were so convinced that you started shaking your fists and talking about how you were ready to take violent action. Was, a little scary, actually. Against you. I wanted to take violent action against you. Because you wouldn't shut up, you pompous anti-American pinko. Oh goodness. I don't see how I'm anti-American. We've made it clear that all we want is to empower the working class through increased unionization and democratization of the workplace, so that when the time comes to seize the means of production, it can be done so in a peaceful manner, thereby fulfilling and extending the ideals of the American Revolution and expanding rights and independence to all in a syndicalist, democratic commune of workers. What? Exactly! No one can understand your theory-laced lingo, Cindy. Every time you open your pie hole, everybody starts looking for a way out faster than a jackrabbit on a greasy skillet. Oh, well, I take offense to that, don't you know? I can hardly understand your hillbilly speak myself. Hey! That is our word. And you know what? You sound like a dime store Canadian. Dime store Canadian? Well, that's very rude. Well, you know what? I didn't have to say it, but god darn it, I'm gonna say this. Comfort food is overrated and you know it.
Why, I never... You vile fiend. You asked for this. Jack Reed's hat looks stupid.
You did not just say that.
Oh, but I did.
Guys, what's going on here? You stay out of this, you bourgeois little bastard! Oh, Cindy Chris. Getting a little mean here, aren't we? Shut up! He insulted Chairman Reed's glorious hat, the very hat that he himself is wearing. You know what this means, don't you, Pop?
A political radical duel?
That's right. A political radical duel. Guys, calm down. This bit has gone way too far. We need to get back to the have a nice taste of theory, you bootlicking bastard! Section 1. The measure of values. Throughout this work, I assume for the sake of simplicity, gold is the money commodity.
Gah! So tedious and boring.
Fine. You want to bring out a book? How about a taste of the good book?
Yeah!
A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin? Well, in my defense, it is a very good book. I mean, I can't put it down. Yes, it is a good book, but like I was saying earlier, I think we've lost the point of the video. I think we need to... Cortana, play the red flag. Isn't it just beautiful, Pop? The sound of the working class coming together to overthrow all those nasty elites that you just don't like. You should really become one of us, you know. Embrace socialism. We give you cool stuff, like free healthcare, and you have control over your own hours and workplace.
No! So genuinely inspiring and uplifting. Must resist urge to become socialist. Cortana, play Huey Long's Share the Wealth speech.
According to the tables which we have assembled, it is our estimate that 4% of the American people own 85% of the wealth of America, and that over 70% of the people of America don't own enough to pay the debts that they owe. How many men ever went to a barbecue and would let one man take off the table what's intended for 9/10 of the people to eat? The only way you'll ever be able to feed the balance of the people is to make that man come back and bring back some of that grub he ain't got no business with.
Wealth redistribution without worker co-ops is only a temporary solution. So infuriating. You're overthinking everything, which is why you're still single at 21 years old. I got news for you, pal. If I'm single, you're single. We're part of the same mind, remember? Guys, hello? Every man a king! Break the chains!
Enough.
Well, that was a bit of a dick move. Sorry, I just had to get your guys' attention. Well, you got it. And now, everyone who's listening to this with headphones has bleeding ears, and everyone who is listening to this while driving has almost swerved clean off the highway. Okay, you've made your point. Are you happy? I am, actually. Thank you for asking. Anyway, I think I understand what's going on here. In a way, this whole bit is a reflection of one of the points that I wanted to illustrate in this video about failure to accept the realities of the Civil War. Oh, really? And what's that? The inability to accept one's past causes problems down the road. I mean, take me for example. Because I embarked on this project before confronting the past reared its head and hijacked the whole project. The same thing is happening to America. We are refighting the same battles over and over again because the past has risen from the sands of time to derail us. The only way for us to move forward is to face it head on. What do you mean by confronting your past? Well, Cindy, you and Pop both have to share my mind together, because I hold both of your values. I think some form of socialism is inevitable, but the only way to implement it in America is to coat it in populism, wrap it in Old Glory, and declare it the successor to the American Revolution. This can't just be about optics, though. Well, you're right. It isn't. I've mentioned this before, but I went through a bit of a right-wing phase in the later half of high school and my freshman year of college. How right-wing, exactly? Oh boy. I unironically used the term SJW. I believed the both sides nonsense. I thought that American universities were deliberately turning kids into communists, and I thought that BLM was dangerously close to becoming a race-based nationalist group. I know. Very stupid, and not a day goes by that I don't beat myself up over it. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. You supported left-wing causes when you were younger. You were a socialist, like me. Oh, you sweet summer child. No, I wasn't. Back when I was 14, 15, and even 16, I was a simp for the Soviet Union. Like an actual tanky. Say it ain't so! A tanky? A good-for-nothing state capitalist? How could you believe something so idiotic? You're supposed to be better than this! I was a lonely kid who felt like change wasn't happening fast enough, that the only way to help people was to establish a single-party communist state. Very idiotic, and stupid, and frankly unforgivable. But again, I was a kid. I think the militaristic power of the Soviets, as well as the romanticized stories about Mao and Castro in their days as guerrilla fighters, appealed to me because I was, and still kind of am, dealing with a pretty big inferiority complex. Hiding out in the bush and fighting Batista sounded a whole lot cooler than going to high school and studying pointless math surrounded by people that didn't really get me at all. Tankies ain't right-wing, though. No. Something else happened, didn't it? You're right, Pop. Heartbreak happened. Love is a bit like a fire in a lot of ways. It can keep you warm on a cold night, or it can burn you away entirely if you get too close. And after a fire destroys a forest, some strange weeds can grow in its place. I found out that a lot of the people I considered family didn't really care all that much about me. I didn't know which way was up, so I ended up swimming deeper until I almost drowned, all the while thinking I was getting fresh air. Oh, wow. So, wait, how'd you find your way back from the right? It sounds like you took quite a beating from a young age. 4 things. First, my real friends stuck by me, no matter how many times I had to reach out to them, and no matter how many stupid things I said. Frankly, I owe them my life, just as much as I owe my life to the people who saved me in the hospital when I had COVID. Second, in April of 2019, I discovered that it is possible to express patriotism and fight for progress from the left. I found this by studying the life of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. Thirdly, I actually listened to the Mueller report and found out that Trump's campaign did receive assistance from the Russians, meaning that a historical enemy had influenced affairs on our shores. And fourth, and this is the weirdest one, I started listening to Seth Meyers. Let me explain. I watched him on SNL when I was a kid, so I guess he was able to get past my jaded, brainwashed exterior through familiarity alone, thereby enabling me to let my guard down. he, made all sorts of jokes and points about how Trump was terrible, and I was like, yeah, you know what, he is right, and that enabled me to start listening to progressives like David Pakman, and people even further to the left than me like Vosh. So, that's what happened. It's almost the way I got out of the right is almost as weird as the way I got into it, if that makes any sense. So, what in tarnation does this have to do with us? Here's what I think. Love of country and a sense of nationalism led me to the right, but it also ultimately led me back to the left. My countrymen, those who wish to build a better America, are like a distant family to me. My political ideology is motivated by what I think is best for them. Pop, you represent that stubborn bit of nationalism, that desire not to make America great again, but to make America revolutionary again. Well, America was founded as a liberal capitalist democracy. It's hardly revolutionary by today's standards. I mean, come on. I know, Cindy, but great politicians are also great storytellers. Lincoln loved a long joke or a tale from American history. Roosevelt's fireside chats connected him with and inspired the nation. And I think that if the left is to succeed, it must tell a damn good story. All the great policies in the world mean jack shit if you can't market them well. There's another thing that I ain't quite getting. Why hijack a video about the sons of Confederate veterans to talk about this? Because they represent the negative side of political storytelling, deliberately lying to push a false narrative that ultimately divides the country, my country, that spits on the graves of slaves and American soldiers alike. The turmoil that America is facing is similar to my own internal turmoil. We've had an insanely bad year. An insane year. Like, a year that was so insane that I chose to portray it in a video featuring an inner dialogue inspired by a niche Hearts of Iron 4 mod. Doesn't get much crazier than that. Okay, boss, you can say chose all you want, but I'm in your head too, and we both know that you started making a video about the SOCV, but your desire to express yourself took over the project. This absolutely wasn't planned at all, and now you're pulling an excuse out of your ass. Yeah, well, I thought I could make a good point by facing reality and the hardships of the past to wrap it up. I mean, the right loves to gesture towards hypocrisy, so now that I've pointed out my own past hypocrisy, it's not going to sting nearly as badly, and I'll be able to argue against revisionism from a stronger position. But who knows? Maybe my fans will enjoy this too. I'll just make this a two-parter. Oh yeah, you better make a part 2, and Cindy and I will be right there with you, because that Make Dixie Great Again thing is talking about neo-Marxists, right-wing code for Jews for the uninitiated, and talks about an upcoming memorial service for former Grand Wizard Nathan Bedford Forrest. Wait, what? Okay, boss, you can say choose all you want, but I'm in your head too. We both know that you started making a video. You started making a video. That's for the outtakes. You started making a video. Syndicalist Chris is such a nice guy, it's hard to make him sound mean. Shut up! Subscribe for more videos.